Hello, hello. Okay, we are back in the game, and for some reason, I think microcast is echoing. A bit awkward.
I'm here.
Okay.
Sure we did an intro, right?
Yeah, we should be good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. My name is Gavin Krela. Joining me in the VC is my lovely co-cast, Maiji. How you doing? We have such a insane matchup, and I am so incredibly pumped for what is to come.
Man, I'm ready. I got me a good old drink. Hold on, let me pop it open. All right, we popped it open. Oh wait, my noise suppression was off, so y'all didn't hear the can open. All right, well, anyways, welcome everyone to 6WC2025, and I am so happy to be here. It is an honor to be commentating this match. We have probably the most expected match this week. We have Seed 2 against Seed 3, Indonesia against the United States. What are you gonna say about this one, Gabby? What's it looking like?
These two teams are titans in the six-digit World Cup. I think the United States through and through have been the most consistent performer in the entire World Cup series. The best country, the number one country in O2, full stop. And they are looking to continue their dominant streak in this year's six-digit World Cup. Meanwhile, on the side of Team Indonesia, Indonesia throughout the World Cup series, throughout 6WC history, they were your 6WC1 winners, and ever since their good showing in 6WC1, they've really been struggling to make a name for themselves moving forward. We see in all of their recent performances, all the recent years, they've really been struggling to get their footing on the ground. Have had some very, very great and major mishaps here and there. But ladies and gentlemen, this year is Indonesia's year. This is their comeback story, and they are looking incredibly poised to go above and beyond this six-digit World Cup. This is the matchup of the week. It's going to be Seed 2 versus Seed 3. Team Indonesia versus the United States. This is the match to watch.
Yeah, this is indeed the match to watch. I mean, you have some of these, probably the strongest six-digit. I mean, they won the 6WC event, the Apex Theater. Zerilia in the flesh himself, the title of the strongest six-digit, and as well as a good teammate of them, Viril, another good Indonesian spawn. But for the United States, you have so many people who have this big tournament experience. For example, somebody like Sparkle, aka Light. They have been playing 6WC for a few years now, being on the minor league team and winning last year. You also have some of these players like Cuckoo, Redacted. A lot of these people have experience, and they have a lot to put on the table, and so does Indonesia with people like Emar Gating, Syntact Era being a 6WC1 player. Like, oh my god, it's so stacked, bro. This lobby is too stacked.
Yeah, it's incredibly stacked and deep. And Maiji, I want to take some time to talk about the binary tension when it comes to the rosters of these two teams. Interestingly enough, I mean, you're already seeing from a historical standpoint, Indonesia versus United States is a significant match. You're looking at Indonesia, your 6WC1 winners, and the United States, your 6WC3 winners. So both of these countries are extremely strong in the World Cup, and this is probably Indonesia's best roster in years, as you mentioned, right? They have Zerilia, they have Varial, and meanwhile, the United States are bringing their very consistent, the strong lineup to this year's 6WC as well. United States never has a bad roster in any year of the World Cup. Even in minor league, the US is just that consistently at the tippy top, just by nature of how many players they have. But to zoom in a bit into both their rosters, Indonesia is probably the epitome of hard carries this six-digit World Cup. they have the strongest carry duo, in my opinion. They have Zerilia and Varial, both players of the Apex Theater. Zerilia being the winner of the Apex Theater, as you mentioned, right, Maiji. And the story about Team Indonesia this entire tournament is not whether Zerilia and Varial can carry them. The story has been whether their supporting combos can keep up. And I think that is going to be a pivotal that's going to be a pivotal point of contention to talk about going into this matchup, because you look at the flip side of the United States, everybody on the US is equally as consistent. Everybody is equal on Team United States. Everybody has a role to play. And that's what I think is going to be the main benefiting factor for the United States going into this matchup. They do not have a weakness. You do not beat the US by, picking a weakness from them, trying to cut them out on one of their weaker maps. No, you win by just being simply better. And that is what I want to investigate during this matchup. The United States will probably not struggle as much finding a roster, and that's what I really want to see. When it comes to a carry standpoint, however, I can definitely see, players like Delete, players like Talon Jack being the main stars of the show for the United States. But in comparison to the duo of Zerilia and Variel, I think it's just gonna be an uphill battle, because Zerilia is just that strong. Has been getting consistent number one performances every round, and is without a doubt the strongest player this year during this year's 6-digit World Cup. So we're getting into our picks and bans hopefully very soon. And I think, Maiji, I mentioned early on in the prediction stream or the pick and stream that US cannot go to tiebreaker against Team Indonesia just by nature of the carries. It is either a 6-4 victory in favor of the US or a 5-6 victory in favor of Indonesia. That's what I'm thinking now, Maiji.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the pick'em stream, I watched the VOD, and whenever I heard you say that and I seen your reasoning for the 6-4, I had to completely agree. And that was initially my first thought, because like if this goes to TB, like Zerilia is 99% chance gonna FC. Zerilia is going to FC almost every single map in this pool that we have on the table, and for real will follow up as strong as they can. And Indonesia, I mean, it's gonna come down on a lot of maps. The difference maker of them losing could honestly just be the supporting combos. I mean, Zerilia and For Real can try their best, but this is a 4v4. The 2v4s can happen. The United States are going to have to play as consistent as they ever have. They're gonna have to be as strong as they usually are. If they like underperform, even just one or two players underperform, the score lead is just gonna go back over to Indonesia. And like you said, I mean, if this goes to TB, like unless USA,
It's a boss battle.
It's a boss battle, bro. You gotta bring your A game to everything. You cannot mess up, and if you mess up, then you're gonna be cooked.
I mean, one thing I want to reiterate, Maiji, from the pick'em stream is that from a captaining standpoint, the US and Indonesia are very interesting, because you have Syntax Error being a 6WC1 player, coming back as the captain this year. But on the flip side, the United States has so many incredibly intelligent players on their roster. You have Light, the two-time minor league winner from the USA B teams from 2023 and 2024, coming to the major league this year. He brings so much experience to the table. And the new blood analyst players as well. You have Creep Crafting 56 and Kiwi. These two players, alongside Light, just make the US such a scary roster. And when it comes to just a pick ban standpoint, and that's why I'm so interested to see how the US picks around Indonesia's weaknesses. Because if there's any country that I would expect to have the ability to finesse a titan that is Team Indonesia, it would be the United States. But I mean, Maiji, would you like to run us through the protects, I believe, that are coming out right now?
Yeah, and Indonesia instantly going for a hidden 3 protect. Probably the famous map that a lot of people are going to be very happy to see, powered by Yobibo. So I'll let you talk about that after. And then USA going for that Hard Rock 2 protect, which I completely support. Indonesia does have a little bit of a Hard Rock weakness, with the only 2 players able to mainly play Hard Rock is going to be Varial and Zerilia being the Hard Rock carries, especially with precision tapping. Players like Emar Gating and people like Syntax Error are not going to be able to scale that hard, and instantly Indonesia banning out that DT2, the speed map, just raw speed map of the pool. So USA gonna try and abuse as much speed as they can, and the US are going to ban out the free mod 2, your Jackie reading map of
Oh,
the pool.
oh boy. Already we're starting to see some sort of dynamic between these two teams. It seems as though Indonesia, interestingly enough, wants to dance around the DTs. On one hand, I mean, it could be them not wanting to play into the mechanics, but on the other, I could definitely see this ban coming from a standpoint where Indonesia doesn't want to leave in the RNG, because GT1, the typical RNG flame spot, is a function map. It's not free by any by any stretch of the word. And GT3 as well is a very accuracy pilled swing tapping map that I think players such as Zarelli on Team Indonesia can definitely perform extremely well on. Meanwhile, the US, I mean, looking like they don't want to go into gimmick against Team Indonesia definitely makes a lot of sense. I think Indonesia has shown a lot of proficiency in 3-mod 2s, especially in their previous round. So makes sense that they kind of don't want to interact with it at all. But the US is going to go for Hard Rock 3 as their first pick. Mind you, tell us a bit more about this.
Yeah, this Hard Rock 3 gonna be one of your alt maps of the pool. This map is literally all alt. It has a bit of flow. It has very light snap, not much snap. It's more alt focused, a lot of cut patterns as well. And this is really just gonna test how comfortable you are on the Hard Rock. It is a 3-minute long map, so your consistency is going to be tested. And that OD10 alt is going to be a problem potentially for some players, but with the caliber of these two teams, I feel like this should be a no-brainer. I feel like this shouldn't be anything new for these players. I think everybody should be pretty comfortable on this, and the USA picking this first is, in my opinion, a pretty good pick, because I feel like Indonesia would be trying to ban out either like one of those hard rocks or one of the other speed maps in the pool, like a nomod 5 potentially, mainly because the USA on paper is a lot more favored on that, but right now the only person in the lobby is Light. I'm sure there's somebody else in the other slots, but what are your thoughts on this, Gammy, on this pick?
Yeah, I think definitely makes a lot of sense coming in from the US. If you know anything about Delete, about Calenjack, both of them are very strong on the Hard Rock. So this Hard Rock 3, Hard Rock Alt is a very weird skill set in 6 digit where it's not a very accessible skill set. I think Alt and Tech, the Hard Rock 3 slot is usually very, very inaccessible for a lot of teams. So on one hand, I can see why the US would go for it. It makes sense that they would want to pick into their carry strength, of course. But on the other hand, I don't know just how applicable this Hard Rock 3, this less accessible skill set is for the United States, especially so early on. I mean, a counter argument could also be made, right, at the same time, where Hard Rock 3, it's still an RNG map. It's still kind of left in the air. It's not a guaranteed pick for the US. They definitely have a lot stronger picks left in their chamber that they are looking to save up. So at the same time, it could be that the US wants to go for something that's favored towards them, but not too favored towards them. That it's important that they leave it till later on in the match. But we're gonna see players slowly funnel into the lobby. We're gonna see, I believe, Izaris, Zarelia, Varial, and interestingly enough, Imar Gading coming in for this Hard Rock 3. Imar Gading, it's really interesting seeing Imar in for this. Not typically known for being a Hard Rock player, but on the flip side, we have the US bringing in Sparkle, Redacted, Cuckoo, and Delete as their starting lineup. This Hard Rock 3 all about that snap. Oh, and with that, let's jump into No Melon, No Lemon, hide and seek.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the only reason why Emar is here is just because they can't find a consistent fourth, and I think Emar's consistent score, even if it's not the best, I think having a consistent score on this is going to be crucial. And for the US, I mean, no stranger to a lot of these players, Redacted, Cuckoo, Delete, and Light, and we're getting right into, like you said, this Hard Rock 3 hide and seek. And what is it looking like so far? Very early score lead for the United States with Light on a 97% accuracy, but we are just getting into it. But Zarelia, Redacted first one to break though.
Yeah, that's right. Still early days, just a taste of what's to come during this Hard Rock 3. Varial and Redacted gonna pull ahead with some early misses, which is going to equalize the scoreboard just for now. But Redacted is just kind of struggling to find his footing on this map as we get into, you know, sort of these closer and closer towards the second quarter of the map. This map is very consistent in its difficulty, and as we move into the first KI, here we go.
Yeah, Redacted is one of those players who usually get a good feel for the map as they play. They might miss early on, but they do hit a lot of those harder patterns. And right now, I mean, all eyes on Zerillia with that 97% FC, as well as Delete building up to a 97% FC, and the score lead is slowly on the side of Indonesia because of, I mean, Cuckoo accuracy. Who is surprised to see Cuckoo with low AC? But they are a combo gamer. As this map goes on, it's going to possibly favor the US with consistency on these combos. But right now, the Indonesia in the lead. Emar Gating actually doing pretty well, honestly. Pretty comfortable. I didn't think they'd be doing so great on this Hard Rock 3, but they seem to be doing just fine.
Yeah, definitely. Emma Gating making me eat my words at this juncture. I mean, definitely outperforming my expectations. But as it stands right now, scoreboard still competitive. But with that miss from Azaris, that might start to shift things towards the right side. And it is going to go forward as we get out of the spinner into the next KI. And it's full throttle into what is, I think, the second last KI of this map. The scoreline is going to shift over, and it does in favor of the Team United States. And as of right now, I mean, we need to see a miss from the US for any sort of progress to be made towards the left side, because the US is looking to take this lead and run a mile.
And with Izaris going down once again, lower AC as well. Delete going down, though. One of the big FCs for the side of the US going down. The second highest combo is gone. And now, I mean, it's 33k score lead. Indonesia can bring this back if anybody else breaks. It is 2 FCs to 2, and Virreal against Redacted, Izaris against Delete. And currently, the US are winning that battle between Delete and Izaris. But if Redacted or one of these FCs like Light go down, if Bancho can please just work with us for once.
Yeah. Delete has lost the 1v1 against Zerillia, and with that, Zerillia has all the leg room they need to race into this final quarter of the map with so much confidence. Last KI, it's now or never, but Light is the one to go down. Emma Gating does trade it up, but now the scoreline is so incredibly close. 9k, 8k, 6k separates these two teams. Bancho is not helping us whatsoever, but nothing changes. The scoreline is still so thin, and with that miss from Redacted, Zerillia and Varial, who else from the side of Team Indonesia, are looking to seize the day and steal this first Hard Rock 3-point as they race towards the last eighth of the map.
And who is surprised to see Zerillia getting a 97% FC? Virreal on that recovery. Emar Gating doing strong. Izaris filling in really well and able to help their team to take the first map of this match on the breakpoint. The Hard Rock 3, Indonesia taking it 1-0. Unfortunately, Cuckoo and Light not getting the same kind of support and not able to hold out the combo fully for Light. So yeah, I mean, this is a great way to start a match for Indonesia.
You can run, but you cannot hide. Zerillia with that 989k score for Team Indonesia. And mind you, here we see a perfect representation across the board. The US has such consistent scores. You're seeing 800k from Cuckoo. Their bottom line is 500k. But on the side of Team Indonesia, Izaris might get a 300k, might be underperforming just that little bit. But once again, Zerillia with that almost 1 mil score. You have Varia and Emma Gating with the support from 700k. And that is exactly what I want to highlight in this matchup. Indonesia has such high peaks that it doesn't matter how low their bottom line is, they are going to kill you regardless. And the United States really need to push up their average if they want to compete against the Indonesian onslaught. But I mean, with that, my G, we're gonna get into our next pick, and now Indonesia putting the early front foot in this match, putting a strong showing on that Hard Rock 3. What do you think they're gonna go for in order to capitalize on this breakpoint?
Hit it too. I think it's the perfect pick. I think it's the perfect pick. You know, your opponents ban that free mod 2, getting rid of that other reading map in the pool. And with players like Viril, Emar Gating, and Zerilia, it all favors them. All three of those players are high caliber reading hidden players. So I feel like it makes perfect sense. But it is going to be the free mod 3, maybe saving the
Oh,
hidden 2 for the next pick before the second ban phase so the
Amamiya
US cannot
Kokoro.
ban that out. But I'm gonna let you talk about this custom because a very
Oh,
special person made it.
yeah, that's right. You might know, I mean, people commonly know them as the OWC 2024 winner. We here at 6WC know Amamiya Kokoro as one of our custom mappers for this semifinals round. This free mod 3, interestingly enough, was one of the first few customs that was ever worked on this tournament. Was initially planned for grand finals, but got dropped down to semifinals. Similar case to our No Mod 4. Setup Ypsilon is a map that features a lot of interesting flowing. There's a lot of sliders, a lot of, weird alternate patterns across the board, and it's going to prove to be a slight reading challenge, I think a rhythmic challenge for hidden players, hidden flow aim, my beloved, as well as the hard rock players who always have the shorter end of the stick on any free mod whatsoever. Ypsilon is a very interesting map to see, and once again, Team Indonesia looks so scary on this free mod 3.
You know, Indonesia might look very scary, but we see Cal and Jack entering the lobby for the United States. The lead is in here too. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of surprised to not see Cal and Jack on that Hard Rock 3. But to be fair, like, I mean, on this Fremont 3, like, anybody can win this. Like, the United States are no strangers to alt. They are no strangers to mod compatibility. Everybody is able to play their mods at good levels. And for Indonesia, I mean, we see Okariemu hopping in for Indonesia. I think we're gonna see Emar Gating hopping instead of Delete, just kind of eating up the first slot. And so really, and for real, I mean, just these are gonna be the duo who are gonna try and be the difference maker of this match.
Yep, that's right. At the same time, I think this is a very, very contested pick. I honestly am pretty interested as to why Indonesia went for the free mod 3 pick. I'm looking at the US's Hard Rock roster, and it just seems so incredibly intimidating, right? And for the record, I don't think the US is weak on hidden whatsoever. I mean, it might be their weaker skill set, but I mean, I'm looking at creep crafting on the hidden, and I definitely do not see an easily exploitable weakness from the side of Team United States. So once again, I mean, this could potentially be a pretty toss-up of a pick. I mean, we saw that last Hard Rock 3 being extremely competitive between both of these countries till the very end, and I think we might see a repeat of that in this map. Of course, this map comes in at a little less than 2 minutes long, so it is a lot more volatile. But at the same time, I mean, that just gives so much less leeway for mistakes and so much more benefits the slight combo leads or slight act leads in this map.
Yeah, and to be honest, I feel like with a roster like the United States, going for an overmod here could be really crucial because, like, Indonesia, you have Zerilia being Hard Rock most likely, Viril and Emar on the hidden, but Riemu probably on the no mod. So United States, I mean, I feel like everybody here should be comfortable, like Cuckoo and Kalinjak on Hard Rock, and then Light and Creep on the hidden. But I think Kalinjak might go hidden though, because they do have comfort on the hidden. But good luck, have fun, are in the chat. We're getting into Epsilon, the free mod 3 custom made by the OWC champion Amamiya Kokoro.
That's right. I think the importance of the no mod anchor in this matchup is going to be extremely pronounced in a map like this. Of course, modded hidden, modded hard rock on alternate side of kind of alt pack on this kind of alt packy style map is very, very difficult. It's gonna be a lot more difficult for the modded players as opposed to the no mod players, and so that's why I think the anchor is just gonna be that much more important for either side. I think I can't remember who you're saying, Maiji. Was it Sparkle? You're predicting Sparkle and Okadayemu coming in for the no mod? Or I know you said
Honestly,
you were thinking United States over mod.
Yeah, I was thinking United States over mod, but I definitely
Yeah.
think Riemu on the no mod. I could see Light going no mod, but I think they're more comfortable on the hidden. Cal and Jack could go no mod, to be fair.
True.
But Cuckoo, after the Wi-Fi issues, they are back. playing Hard Rock, and they do have a no-mod player on the team because they asked why they had 2 no-mods, so I'm gonna take a wild shot and say Jack is on that no-mod consistency, going to be contesting with Riemu and Imar getting for real on the hidden, Zerilia against Cuckoo on the Hard Rock. And I think the Hard Rock could favor Indonesia a bit because Zerilia, I mean, very good accuracy on Hard Rock compared to Cuckoo.
True.
My bad. Cuckoo on the lower accuracy on Hard Rock, but we see delete on hidden Hard Rock. Wait, not delete, light.
Paco.
Light.
What the hell? Okay, wait, I was not familiar with Light's game. Light was the last person that I would have foreseen a hidden Hard Rock.
Okay, Riemu went easy?
Yep, Riemu as well on the left side, going with that easy. A lot of shocking mod combinations going into this map, but with that, let's jump straight into setup Ypsilon.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we had Light on that Hard Rock 3, so, I mean, to be fair, Light has been currently grinding recently, doing really well, and right now, Indonesia in the score lead. And quick question, is Easy Multiplier on screen?
Yep, Easy Multiplier is taken into account in the client, so it is just going to be as you see on the screen. But we are gonna move into our first KI. Oh, the flow aim comes. Riemu, Varia, creep crafting, all fine misses. Team Indonesia now is 2 FCs. United States as well with Sparkle and Kalajak. Cuckoo, however, making the difference for the US right now from a combo standpoint, but is being chased very sharply by Varia right on his tail.
And Zerilia goes down. The best 6-digit goes down, and it is Light on the hidden Hard Rock. Oh my god, Jack holding on the no-mod, contesting against you are getting who goes down. And on Indonesia's pick, the US are building up this score gap. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, in a shocking turn of events, and this map is so incredibly volatile. The United States, Jack and Sparkle both lived through the KI, and they're looking to run the extra mile. The question is not whether they can steal this breakpoint, is how far they can take it. Sparkle might find a miss, but the damage has long been done. The US has taken that lead and have run a mile. It seems as though no matter how high these team seats may be, you cannot run away from 6 digits picking their opponent's pick. Holy crap.
It seems like they have found Zerilia in the game of hide and seek. And after that Hard Rock 3, the United States win the Fremont 3 in a great fashion, 600k in their favor on the breakpoint. And that's what I was scared of. If Indonesia, even if Zerilia or Viril go down, it's instantly cooked.
That's right. This map so incredibly punishing. And the United States just had such a crushing performance on this Fremont 3, and that's why I was afraid of Indonesia going for this Fremont 3. The United States are no stranger when it comes to their mods. When it comes to perhaps, a hidden or hard rock, when it comes to filling a roster for that, maybe you can make a case for them struggling here and there. But when it comes to free mods, where you only need 1 or 2 players for each mod, the US is so well-rounded that they don't need to worry about it whatsoever. You had Light on the hidden, you had Creep Crafting on the hidden, you had Cuckoo on the hard rocks. The US did not struggle to fill a roster whatsoever, and it showed during this matchup. With that, the US, filled with rage, filled with passion, immediately steals back that breakpoint from Team Indonesia, and once again, we are at equilibrium as Indonesia going for Hard Rock 1. Hoo-ha! Let's go!
Actually, the United States going for Hard Rock 1.
Oh wait, this is the US?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm throwing. Oh, GG.
No, it's okay. You're good. But yeah, we're going into one of the custom maps. Another one. We have 8 in this amazing semifinals pool, mapped by Ducky. Thank you for this map. And this map going to be just shy of 3 minutes long, so consistency is going to be tested. And this is a light tech aim Hard Rock 1 with some reading overlap type patterns, question mark. I mean, it might be reading to some people, it might not, but for Indonesia, I mean, we're going to be seeing this trio of Imar Giddings, really a Viril in for this Hard Rock 1. And for the United States, I mean, we could see Delete, obviously.
Delete, Cuckoo, Jack, like, hello.
Yo, where's Light? I mean, Light, honestly, I was not familiar with my guy's game.
Like, all of the US has such a menacing Hard Rock roster, right, my G? I mean, you look at Delete, I don't want to be on the opposite side of Delete when it comes to a Hard Rock map, so oh man.
especially when that SR grows. This guy just gets stronger, and Izara is going to be the one to fill for Indonesia. We see Delete hopping in the lobby, and also before we hop into this Hard Rock 1, I just thought I'd give a good mention to Oki Riemu's easy score. This guy got 300k before like any multipliers were put in tech, so they were like the almost highest score on that Indonesia team, and like just goes to show, like if Real and Zorelia would have FC'd that map, that would have been like a 400k score lead for Indonesia. So if they can't perform, then they won't take those points. But we see Cuckoo hopping in. We see Creep Crafting. I'm not sure if they were watching Timer, but we see them in here. We see Light hopping in. The captain of 6WC USA. Delete is in here. And oh my goodness, this is going to be an interesting one. This could go either way.
Yep. This map, this Hard Rock 1 Hoo-Ha was one of the first ever maps, again, similar to Freeball 3, one of the first maps that we planned in this 6-digit World Cup. And funnily enough, Hoo-Ha, this song, was one of Daki's first ever maps. So this, in essence, is a remaster of his first ever map, coming full circle in his mapping journey with this Hard Rock 1 custom. One of my favorite customs, and one of the players' favorite customs, I believe. First pick in 3 matches thus far. So this is clear to be a very popular map amongst the player base. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, as the diff name says, to all these players, Godspeed.
Yeah, and honestly, this map may be gonna favor some of those not too comfortable Hard Rock players. Maybe somebody like Azaris, they didn't do too well in the Hard Rock 3. But this Hard Rock 1 is CS 4.9. It's not gonna be 5.2, so a lot easier to aim these circles. And we are getting right into it, and we're gonna have a bit of a slow section at the start, but right after the break we're gonna be getting right into the harder light tech aim section of the map. And if anybody misses on this beginning part, that could cut their score in a little short amount, but hopefully not too much. And right now Zorelia on a 99. Bro, this guy, sort of God, Light is long at 97.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, let's hop into the VIP edit of Hoo-Ha. It's going to be all about that light tech, all about that who put my reading inside my Hard Rock 1. Let's see how these players deal with the challenges that this map will present to them.
Yeah, and Izara's Delete trading, but Light went down just before that, so combo lead on the side of Indonesia, and we're getting into it. Will anybody break early on these light tech aim patterns? So far, everybody seeming comfortable, but it just keeps going. This map does not relent. The difficulty is stable.
That's right. As it stands right now, we're getting into the second half of the KI. Less reading, more about that aim. Emargating Varial to fall. Creep Crafting as well, going to soften the blow from Team Indonesia. But meanwhile, the United States being very scary with that recovery. Zaris as well, finding that miss, going to make the Team Indonesia all the more volatile as Cuckoo, Sparkle, and Delete continue to race forward, moving into the halfway section of the map. Cuckoo might find a miss, but the damage is looking scarier and scarier. That wound is getting larger and larger as the break comes in and the players see their scores.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. You might have Zorelia on a 99%, but it's a 100k score lead for the Americans right now. You cannot 1v4 in a 4v4 format. If the US can keep holding this supporting combo from Delete and Light and Creep Crafting building shortly, you know, Cuckoo losing that FC was unfortunate, but will anybody miss? You know, we've seen a little bit of discomfort for these Indonesian players, and the score lead is building for the United States right now as Light and Delete are doing their best against this giant, this titan, the god, the boss, Zorelia.
That's right, Delete and Sparkle have Zorelia trapped in a corner. They want this point so badly. Creep Crafting might find a miss, Varial might find a miss, but the pivotal combos in Sparkle and Delete are unrelenting. As you mentioned, Maiji, last KI, the familiar motif of Hoo-Ha.
Zorelia
finds a miss as Delete and Sparkle now have free reign of their scoreboard, and they race towards the last ace of the map with complete and utter confidence.
And Light might not go down, but that doesn't matter because Zorelia is down as well. The boss has been knocked down, and the Americans are going to win this Hard Rock 1 in dominant fashion once again. Delete the strong player of this United States roster, holding out. Is that an FC? I can't tell.
No, I think that's barely not, but barely not an FC.
Oh yeah, recovery.
Yo.
Good recovery from Delete, and the United States going to win this Hard Rock 1 in 540k score lead over to their side. And you know, that's what we were talking about at the start of the match. You have Zerilia on that one miss 770k, but nobody else even close to them.
That is right, my G. Astute observation. It shows here that the well-roundedness of the US is just that much stronger than the singular carry that Zerilia might push for their team. And as it stands right now, the US will now look to go 1-2 in favor of themselves.
Yeah, and if you are Indonesia, I think it is a no-brainer of what you should pick here. But to be fair, I mean, the United States no strangers to a hidden 2. You know, you have these players like Light, Cal, and Jack, Creep Crafting. I know Kiwi can combo game their way through a hidden 2 as well as they've done it in the 6WC USA tryouts. So now we just have to wait and see for what the Indonesia go for here. And also, there was a very slight part, Gammy, where your mic cut out, but it was so small that like it didn't matter. But I don't know. Your noise suppression's all. It was so small, like it was barely anything.
Man. Yeah, no, hopefully that won't happen again. GG. But as you mentioned, I think Indonesia 100% might look to go in for a hidden. As it stands right now, both teams have sort of been dancing around the mods. You're looking at mostly those free mods, mostly those hard rocks, but it does seem as though you are right, my G. They're gonna go for that hidden 2. Tell us a bit about this hidden 2, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, this hidden 2 going to be, once again, another custom mapped by JRE, I believe a Filipino 5WC player?
Yep,
yeah, okay, I got the right guy. And this hidden 2, honestly, if you're not comfortable with reading hidden, this map is going to be cooked, bro.
So cooked.
Cooked, bro. The rhythm is so hard. There's a lot of rhythm changes in this hidden 2. The OD might be OD7, but that might not help your accuracy whatsoever. And there is a lot of overlapping patterns, a good amount of aim. And why is Cuckoo in the lobby?
This map, I would try to pronounce it, but I don't want to embarrass myself on stream. This hidden 2 is perhaps the most difficult map in this pool. There is a lot of weird, awkward patterns. Not just, you know, conventional overlap reading. No, this map features a lot of rhythmic overlap reading as well. Weird timings and whatnot that it's almost it almost presents a memory requirement for these players. But I'm looking at Team Indonesia, and this is just such a Indonesian pick. You're looking at, you know, Imagating coming in for this map. I could definitely see Okarimu coming in once again for this hidden 2. And meanwhile, for the United States, although they're no stranger to a hidden 2, like, I can't help but feel as though they might struggle a bit more trying to find a roster for this map. I'm looking at Creep Crafting and Misdraw, but other than that, I just can't put my finger down. Maybe we see Kiwi coming in for this, but fourth player, perhaps?
You're forgetting of the captain themselves, Light.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right.
Hey, is Light. There he is. Misdraw. Okay, I don't know what they were doing, by the way, which I don't know if Cuckoo's going to play or if we're going to see Cal and Jack potentially. And Delete.
Maybe.
I don't know why the United States put in these tapping mechanics hard rock players on this hidden 2. They were just trying to troll us.
Keep your opponent guessing.
Cuckoo could play this, you know, I could see a combo game, but I think Cal and Jack would be the better option here. But, I mean, the United States is all up to you guys. And for Indonesia... Oh, yeah, okay, there's Cal and Jack. There he is. And for Indonesia, we see their own captain making an appearance, Syntact Error 6WC1 winner, Viril Zerilia, and Imargating. This is going to be like your strongest forecourt, in my opinion, on reading. And good luck, have funs are in the chat. And we are getting into the JRE custom. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Don't kill me. Budem Druziami.
Oh, that's cool. Thank God we have no Russians watching in chat. Butchering aside, with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into what could potentially be one of the most difficult maps in this pool. Full stop. While Indonesia on paper just has that that much strength and that much confidence from a name power standpoint on their roster. I mean, we've seen the United States pull off some absolute miracles. Don't know how good Delete will be on this map, but I mean, Delete has surprised me time and time again, so I'm not even gonna doubt him at this point. With that, let's jump into this Hidden 2 custom map once again by JRE.
I will say Delete, if they put in the work, if they put in the practice, they are no strangers to low AR reading. And right now, I mean, look who it
Doing well.
is. It's Light on the SS. An early score lead on the side of Indonesia with the accuracy drops from Creep Crafting, Kalenjak, and Delete. And look, just for real, Cerelia, Emar Gating, like all these guys, they're so strong on these reading maps, but we aren't even anywhere close to the difficulty parts of this map, and that is what's going to matter. Those reading patterns, those weird rhythms that we're going to be seeing in this Hidden 2, but right now it is in the favor of Indonesia.
Yeah, that's right. Still stagnating, the scoreboard is, and both players moving into the KI. Here's where the overlaps start to get intense, but both sides unrelenting, unmoving, nobody giving an inch to either side. Vario and Zaridia leading their teams with the accuracy, but meanwhile, Sparkle basically matching up to them as it stands right now. We're moving into sort of a slow speed up, slow down section in terms of the energy, but as it stands, Indonesia still looking to get the slightly longer end of the stick, but it is still anybody's game. It is still more competitive than ever.
Yeah, and right now it's just an accuracy. Kalenjak, the first one to go down though for the US, and that is one of the lower AC FCs going down. And I was gonna say, for real, and Zerillia are the ones to be carrying these high accuracies, being the difference makers on this Hidden 2. Light going down! Emar getting trading though.
The lead is still in favor of Team Indonesia. That miss from Sparkle is not what you want to see in the side of, if you're a fan of the United States being the largest accuracy on their roster. And right now, the window of opportunity is so wide open for Indonesia as we move into a slow section. Gonna give some more time for these players to rest. Gonna give some more combo for Indonesia to compound that score lead more and more.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Cerelia and Variel doing an insane job for their team right now. Syntact Error as well. Emar getting trying their best to recover. But for the United States, it's Delete and Creep Crafting holding out these FCs, trying their best to bring it back after Light and Kalenjak went down. And after the slow section, we're going to be going back into reading. It's going to be the final section of the map. Any breaks are going to be the deciding factor, but 300k in the favor of Indonesia right now. And if Indonesia can just hold, if any of these FCs break, it could go back over to the US, but we're going back into reading. Will anybody falter?
That's right. I mean, Kalenjak Imagating once again gonna open the KI with Mr. Syntax Error as well, and now the FC's 2-2. It is dead even, but stagnation is just gonna favor the Team Indonesia. And as the lead falls, ladies and gentlemen, this is a slaughter complete combo reset from the side of the United States. Slaughterhouse Indonesia is sending them to, and Indonesia will be executing any sort of hope for the Team United States on this Hidden 2. Holy!
What a score coming out from Variel. 98% accuracy FC, 992k, and Zerillia missing at the end. And I think a big issue with this Hidden 2 for some of these players, if you miss early on, the difficulty is at the end of the map mainly. So if you miss early on and if you miss at the end, your score is going to be chopped up in pieces. So them holding out as strong as they can is what mattered. And for real, Zerillia, even with Zerillia missing at the end, they hit the rest of the map, 870k. And after those insane 4 maps we've seen, I believe almost all of them being customs except for Hard Rock 3, we're going into the second ban phase. What do you think we're going to be seeing leaving this pool, Gammy?
Oh man, the United States have done a very good job cutting Indonesia out from banning any one of the hard rocks, right? Every single hard rock has been scorched by the US. Meanwhile, the US still has a lot of avenues where they can ban into. I mean, I'm looking at the hard rock 1 if they want to sort of keep the hiddens away from Team Indonesia. But then again, the US is the US doesn't
Oh?
really have a lot of weaknesses. I think.
Huh?
Oh. Oh,
What?
okay. No. Actually, this makes a lot of sense. I think mechanics has always been a gray area for the US. I think if you look at all their previous rounds, in fact, the US has consistently been actively avoiding the no mod 2s or the DT1s. I mean, DT1 ban from round 32, round 16 might be because of the RNG-ness of it, but you're always looking at US trying to cut out as much of the mechanical no mods as much as possible. No mod 2 in round 32 and 16, and then a no mod 5 from quarterfinals. So this no mod 2 ban honestly makes a lot of sense for the US.
Yeah, honestly, I respect it because for the United States, no mod 2 is like the same case of a no mod 1. It is something you put up in the air, and with people like Zerillia and Viril like so consistent on these kind of maps, I think this is a good ban for the United States going into or being inside of the second ban phase. And now it is up to Indonesia. What will you ban? You can get rid of something like a DT1, maybe a DT3, but I don't think that's something you should get out. Maybe like a Nomad 5, maybe a speed map. But I mean, I'm not sure what they ban out here. Like, I feel like both of these teams are so comfortable on anything that is left in this pool. I don't think anything is heavily favored to one or another. So we'll just have to wait and see what they go for here. What do you think?
Maybe a free mod 1. I mean, I could see a free mod 1 being interesting. I mean, Indonesia lost on the free mod 3. That makes a lot of sense. But no,
DT1?
instead we see a DT1. Okay. Day 3 million, round 3 million of DT1 never getting played in a 6WC pool. You love to see it.
Yeah, DT1 not gonna be making an appearance today.
Yeah.
But I will say this DT1 is a little bit different than the other ones. It's not like a how do I say it? It's not like a generic DT1. This DT1's a little bit different, a bit more like flowy, awkward DT1 from whenever I played it. Or maybe I just had a weird experience on it. But No Mod 1 pick coming out from the United States going for another map. Speaking of generic, we're going into Consistency Farm. The No Mod 1 of the pool.
Holy crap, let's go gambling. The US going for this number 1 pick. Mighty, I don't know about this one. I mean, why if they're going for it so early? Like, from a strategic standpoint, I can understand this pick very much so, right? The US probably going out the second ban phase, they can't go for their protect, obviously, but they're gonna go for something more mechanically intensive. They are not that strong when it comes to tapping, so they aim. So they go for aim consistency. They want to sort of cut this number 1, get it out of the way before the nerves begin to take a toll on them when they move into the later stages of the map. So this No More 1, I understand the thought process. They're stronger mechanically on aim, and this is a very volatile map when it comes to, you know, being under pressure, being under nerves. So the US just wants to get it out while they are still in the right hit space. But oh my goodness, No More 1, time and time again, has always been one of those maps that are very, very scary. And I think people in chat are sort of retracting from seeing this No More 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is something you put up in the air, and I will say, Light, you are a gacha gambler, but do you gamble now? I don't think it's the time, but you already did what
Calculated gamble, I think.
Yeah, true, because I feel like
happened.
doing it this early on, you know, there is still many maps to be played. I feel like it's not that bad. Playing this later on, like you mentioned, where nerves are built up, I don't think that is when you want to pick it. So maybe picking it now is a good strategy. Maybe trying to build up nerves for these Indonesian players. And this Nomad 1 is going to be 3.5 minutes long, a long, consistent Nomad 1. And are we seeing Viril not in the Indonesian roster here on Nomad 1? Oh. Are they hopping
That
in?
might be very real.
Potentially.
But yeah, I
And
mean,
it
I
is.
don't doubt that the US has the consistency for this Nomad 1, but at the same time, I don't think anybody in the lobby right now doesn't have the consistency for this kind of Nomad 1. This is a war of attrition. It's less a test of your skill cap. It's less a check for your aim and more of a check of your focus, your ability to keep that stamina, keep that mental tenacity throughout these 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So, I mean, the players are slowly funneling into the lobby. Good luck, have fun.
And we're getting right into
I'm not even gonna try and pronounce it. Do you know how to pronounce this map?
Hatsukoi no Hito. Trust the
Yup.
Asian. I got this. I got
Hatsukoi
this.
no Hito. I said it
That's right.
perfectly. Yes.
That's right.
We're getting into the Nomad 1, the consistency, the farmer map of the pool. If you can farm, you can hopefully play this. But like you said, this is going to come down to nerve control. Really, like it's gonna just be a bunch of nerve control and accuracy. Going to be a good factor as well, because I feel like on a map like this, I feel like combos shouldn't be too much of an issue. So if everyone FC is just gonna come down to who has the accuracy lead, and for the United States, we see Cuckoo and Kiwi making an appearance, and Kalenjak and Delete, no strangers to being in any maps. And for Indonesia, it's Vireal, Zarilia, Imar Gating. Once again, the trio of these Indonesian players, and MK45 making an appearance for the first time in this map on the Nomad 1 aim.
Yep. But with that, we are jumping straight into this Nomad 1. Once again, a battle of attrition, a war of attrition between these two rosters. This Nomad 1 pick can swing either way. I think there are two separate universes where this Nomad 1 can go. And with that, I think it's now a good time to mention that we are getting dangerously close to that sort of point where Indonesia can get 5 points on the USA, because I think we mentioned, right, the way Indonesia wins this match, as long as they gather 5 points, as long as they guarantee themselves a tiebreaker, they are in a very, very scary position going up against the US. And so this point, every point from here on is going to be so much more important. And with that, I mean, we're getting into the first KI, all about the jumps. It's just the Nomad 1 of all time. I love farm.
Yeah, and I mean, who is surprised to see the strongest 6-digit holding an SS right now, score lead on their team's favor, 40k in the lead, with Cuckoo being a little bit lower on the accuracy department compared to the rest of these Indonesian players, all of them holding 98 to 99 plus, and everybody else on the US 98, 99 as well. And I mean, like you said, honestly, if they Imar Gating! Wait, was that Bencho? Because that showed misses, but they have an S rank. It showed misses.
No. Imar Gating wouldn't react that way if it wasn't a miss. And with that, oh dear, that is not what you want to see. Cuckoo might be saving Indonesia with having that pretty big accuracy deficit at 90%. But a combo deficit is so much more punishing, and it's so evident here as the United States are looking to run with this score lead as we move into the second KI.
Yeah, as we're getting to the second KI, you know, Cuckoo, one of those players to hit a lot of hard patterns, just kind of like Redacted, where accuracy is not their strong suit, but combo is. But to be fair, on Nomad, accuracy is favored much more, because like FCing with 99 and FCing with 90% is like a 200 to 300k score difference, and right now it is in the favor of the United States. Delete going down, and Kiwi following up. MK45 going down though. 2 FCs to 2,
Oh, no.
but Imar Gating have a recovery. The accuracy lead is in the favor of Indonesia. They see the scores, they see the breaks, and we're going into the final third section of the map.
Oh no, a pang of realization has just hit my chest as Kiwi and Delete, I think, seeing that scoreline has made a hard drop, but Vireal looking to still make it close till the very end. Zarilia now the only one left standing for Indonesia. At first, you know, it seemed as though Imar Gating would be enough to make the difference, but Cuckoo and Kalenjak, combo accuracy be damned. Cuckoo is racing towards the final KI, with Kalenjak being that anchor that the United States need for them to secure this lead. Going to the last quarter, the scoreboard opens up and the United States can heave a great big sigh of relief as they see Zarilia once again being the only one, once the dust settles, to hold for Team Indonesia.
It's not over yet though. If anybody goes down, there's still map. If anyone misses, it's gonna go over to Indonesia. But everybody hitting the patterns, and the United States are going to win the Nomad 1, the gamble. They win it Unfortunately, with Real finding a miss, if they would have FC'd, they would have taken it by a huge margin. But with them missing, them giving the handout win to the United States, and the score is now 3-2 in the US's favor with Jack on a 98.7% FC, 955k. Cerelia with 985k as well, but unfortunately, not enough support from their teammates.
Do not use this map. Do not use this map as an example for your life decisions. Do not go gambling. But it seems as though United States were the 1% that made it big with this No More 1 victory, taking the match 2-3, albeit very precariously. Holy.
Go big or go home, man. That's what they had to do. And honestly, now that we're not in a map, I had to bring up the tiebreaker theory. I completely forgot that a player like Jack was on the team. Like, some people don't know, but like, I've watched this guy FC like 6.3 star TVs in Raw AI. So like, I feel like a player like of this caliber is able to potentially match Cerelia on a tiebreaker with them being so consistent. We've seen it on the Nomad one, how consistent they are on Nomad. But Indonesia, it is your pick now. What will you do? Will you go for your protect, or will you go for something like maybe a Nomad 4 or a Nomad 6, or maybe even a hidden 1?
That is right. I definitely see a hidden 1 being more plausible for Team Indonesia, really wanting to play where their confidence lies. But at the same time, I think the control pool is still very up for grabs. I think coming out of that Hard Rock 3 victory, Nomad 3 seems like a pretty solid option. I'm also looking at that Nomad 6 potentially being open to them. Because Nomad 6 is a pretty accuracy heavy map, right? Once again, if we are talking where accuracy is concerned, Nomad 6 or DT3 might make quite a bit of sense. And considering the DTs have been untouched this entire matchup, maybe a DT3, but I mean, 2 bans from Indonesia on the DTs doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to go into it. So maybe a Nomad 4 or Nomad 3. I think it's either Nomad 3, Nomad 4, or hidden 1 for me personally.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for me, like, this DT3 is the same scenario as the Nomad one. It's so quick, it's so short, and if you break once, your score is chopped up in half. And if you break again, it's chopped up in a quarter. Alright,
Yep.
So this DT3, I feel like it's another gamble pick, which you could pick early on, but like I mentioned, it is going to be the hidden 1. It is the end.
Yeah, that's it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adios. Yeah, no. This hidden 1 is sort of a semi-return to the 6WC flow aim hidden 1s that you all know us and hate us for. This hidden 1, while it doesn't have as many flow aim sections, it's not like the entire map is all about flow aim. This map has a good mix of aim agility and of course the flow aim that I've been mentioning. 3 minutes and 15 seconds long. There are some very awkward patterns, a lot of tightly packed and dense jumps that are littered throughout this hidden 1. And alongside, of course, the hidden mod, it is going to provide a lot more uncertainty. It's going to present a lot more uncertainty for some of these players to deal with going into this hidden 1.
Yeah, I mean, who is surprised to be seeing a 4-man roster? I mean, we see Syntact, Aaron. I mean, very obviously the 3 other ones are going to be for real, who just entered the lobby. Cerelia and Imar Gating are going to be your roster for this Indonesia team on this hidden 1, hopefully. And for the United States, hopefully we see someone like Light making an appearance. This is more tapping oriented and not as much aim, so Light would be able to play this. Somebody like Delete and Jack to hop in as well, and maybe even Kiwi potentially making an appearance, but creep crafting could be another great option.
Yeah, that's right. We're moving, players slowly funneling into the lobby. And once again, the question is going to be, will the United States be able to fill a roster for this? I think Hidden 1 is a lot more accessible than Hidden 2. And if Hidden 2 was any representation, any sort of benchmark for the hidden comfort coming in from both of these teams, I do think the US will have a much better time toying with this Hidden 1 or going up against Indonesia on this Hidden 1. Definitely expecting, Varial, Zervilia, Syntac, Arrow, and Imag getting in for this hidden 1, as well as the US having their hidden carries in Creep Crafting, Sparkle, and their all-rounder in Jack, and maybe Delete. So definitely see Delete coming in, maybe Kiwi as well.
Surely
yeah.
it's Delete. I feel like Delete is somebody you want to have in for a lot of maps, and there they are. The
Yep, here we go.
infamous Delete is in, and I feel like somebody like Delete is something you want in for a lot of maps, like somebody you want there a lot because of how consistent they are. Kiwi is good if you want like just combo anywhere. Kiwi is a little bit like Cuckoo in the sense where accuracy is not their playstyle, but for Indonesia, we see Zerilia hopping in for this hidden one, and the good luck, have funs are in the chat, and we are going into the second Ice 9 kills song in 6WC 2025. The first one being in round of 32, and the second one being the hidden one of semifinals. It is the end.
Yep, that is right. Indonesia at this juncture really want to try to equalize as much as possible. The United States doing a very good job at zoning Indonesia out from that 5 points that they need in order to secure that victory. So as it stands right now, Indonesia want to try to, keep that slow and steady pace. They are not out of the game just yet. But once again, similar to that normal one, this hidden one could be quite in the air. It's going to be up to the mental, going to be up to the consistency of these players to make the difference. But with that, as you said, Maiji, let's jump straight into it. Is the end, hidden one.
Yeah, and honestly, there is one pattern at the start of the map, and if anybody misses on it, I'll point it out. But I don't want to point it out just yet because I don't want like everybody to miss on it. I don't want Caster Curse to happen. But we are going to be getting into this tapping oriented hidden one. There is not much aim in here. This is going to test your tapping streams on the hidden. It is 186 BPM. OD8, OD a bit lower. And Zerilia finding an early miss. Zerilia going down. That is already going to cut their score in a big margin. And they're going down so much. That is not good for them. Okay,
Zerilia struggling to find their footing early on in the match as we get into the real grit of the map. That early miss from Zerilia probably won't matter too much. It's still early days. A lot can happen during this match, and believe me, there are a lot of avenues where these players can find misses. But we're getting into a bit more, polyrhythmic session, a bit more slow, a bit more consistent. But after this, it's back into the action, back into the intensity and the density.
Yeah, and right now, eyes on Kalenjak creep crafting and light with these 96, 97%, and everybody is holding. Will anybody start missing going into the Ki? And honestly, was Zerilia missing early? It might not matter, but maybe later it will. Zerilia going down! That is going to matter. And it's still 4 FCs to 2. Zerilia on the recovery. And the US are going to start running away on this. Delete going down, though.
That is going to soften the blow, but 3 FCs to 2, it is not looking good for Indonesia as we move into the second half. It is still anyone's game, however. And for what it's worth, Indonesia are doing a good job at keeping that scoreline from skyrocketing. But Sparkle misses on absolute aim. With that, Indonesia, in a turn of events now, has the score lead, has the combo lead, and they are looking to take it and run the extra mile.
Light finding another break, and it's Syntact, Aaron, Imar getting holding for the Indonesian team. It's not for real, or it's really a Light going down once again, and that is huge for Indonesia. The score lead is on their side. Kalenjak going down as well. There's only one more FC on the side of the US, and it is Creep Crafting. She is holding on for her life. She needs to hold for the US to even have a chance on this hidden one.
Oh my goodness, this is devastating for the US. They're just crumbling one by one. Indonesia looked like they struggled to get their foot on the pedal early on in this match, but they have found their footing and they are looking to race. They're looking to sprint towards this last quarter of the map. This is why they went for this pick. It just seemed as though a combination of the lack of focus on this hidden one was just what caused the US to find those trips, and that is just going to cost them the point at this juncture. Sparkle and Kalenjak looks like they've lost all hope as they move into the last 8. Indonesia once again in dominant fashion, going to win another point for themselves on the board.
And in a dominant fashion, as you mentioned, 600k. It's not these two carries this time around. It is Syntac, the captain, and Imar Gating, the veteran of 6-digit World Cup for this Indonesian roster. And Creep Crafting, you tried your best with that 1 million score, but unfortunately not getting the same kind of support that Indonesia got.
That's right, a complete masterclass from Team Indonesia. I messed it up last time I was trying to say it, but this time, this was a slaughter for the United States with Indonesia as the executioners on this hidden one. Ice 9 kills and they are executed. Holy!
And it's all tied up once again, 3-3.
A match!
Nerves built up.
We have a match!
We have something going on, and I believe we have another one going on. Oh, you don't want to look at the other match score. I'll let you do that while I talk. And after that hidden one, Indonesia winning 800k in their favor, I think it's time for the US to pick their protect, and it is the Hard Rock 2. Snow Goose is picked. And this is going to be your precision stream map. My favorite map in the pool because it's tapping precision, who honestly, I'm surprised to see this in a 6-digit tournament, but this is going to be a quick one. It's a minute and a half long, so any early breaks are going to matter. Accuracy going to matter so much on this Hard Rock. And with Indonesia not being so comfortable on something like precision, I believe, I mean, they might not be strangers to it. Maybe they will make me eat my words. But I think on paper, the US should be favored on this. I mean, they protected it. So surely they will be able to take this one out. And after Indonesia, I mean, you still have your hidden 3 protect to pick after this.
This is a very strong pick for the US, right? It's mechanics, it's precision, it's Hard Rock. It favors them into all extents of the word. But at the same time, this is a very volatile map, and we've seen how picks can just swing either way during this kind of matchup. We saw in Fremont 3 where Indonesia was looking very strong with their easy, with their Hard Rocks, with all of their mods on Fremont 3. But in a shocking turn of events, with a snap of the finger, that scoreline just shifted in favor of the US. And we can see a repeat of that during this Hard Rock 2. As long as, a few misses come in from either side, that scoreline can immediately shift left or right. This is more a test of, your burst consistency, how much you can keep your focus, how much you can lock in for 1 minute and 30 seconds long, more so than it is a war of attrition, a battle of consistency, a battle of comfort even for these players. And while Indonesia has shown to be the weaker team when it comes to the Hard Rock, I mean, anything can happen on a map as short as this, right, my G?
Yeah, anything can happen. As you mentioned, accuracy going to play a big factor. And before we get into it, as players are going to be hopping in the lobby for the United States, Gami, if Canada against Taiwan,
I fucking hate Canada.
Do you want to do a quick? Do you want to go do a quick post-match interview? I could take over for 5 minutes if you really want to, but I mean you don't have to. Obviously,
it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
All right.
It's all good. I will surrender. I will surrender. Team Canada. I'm sorry, Canada. Oh man. But yeah. If you go and check out the match that is currently at 2-5. That is Taiwan versus Canada. Go check out our second channel, Project Hexagon 2. Some stuff are happening there, but if you want to look at an actual close match, an actual interesting match, stick around. Indonesia versus US is the match to watch. But
this is definitely the match to watch. I will agree.
There's a lot that we can talk about this, but hopefully we should be off to the races very, very soon.
I'm not mad about this US roster, but I'm surprised to not see somebody like Light or Kalinjak or maybe even Creep Crafting in the lobby. It is going to be Mistral, Cuckoo, Delete, and Kiwi.
Ooh.
2 new players making an appearance in this Hard Rock 2 for the United States. And for Indonesia, Izaris hopping back in, Imar Gating, Zarilia, and Viril in for Indonesia. The trio perma lobby that we've been seeing in every single map of this match. And good luck, have funs are in the chat. In the chat. And we're getting into Snow Goose, the Hard Rock 2.
Blink and you'll miss it. If you thought the Nomad 1 was fucking let's ball, this is we go gambling with the US once again sticking to their Wallahi gung-ho go big or go home sort of play style that they seem to really enjoy going into. Mistral, Kiwi making their in-match debut. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the familiar tune of Snow Goose.
Kiwi making their debut, but not starting off strong, finding early misses on those bursts, but they will hopefully be able to try and build back up. And this is one of those maps that are a bit more simple. It's precision tests, but the bursts and the map itself are not that difficult. and Indonesia are showing that right now with a 170k score
Oh,
lead and
no.
Misdraw going down on the USA Protect. Cuckoo and Delete the only ones to hold. I don't think they were expecting this kind of play from Indonesia. I was not familiar with your guys' game.
Wait, and that's where I was thinking, right? The US going into such a RNG map such as this one, do you really want to bring two players who haven't really been getting warmed up with the match? Like, Indonesia's packing in Varial, Imagining, and Zeridia, and they've been pulling their weight throughout this entire match. They are extremely hot and ready to go for this Hard Rock 2 RNG pick. But meanwhile, United States bringing in Misdraw and Kiwi for the first time this matchup. Probably still, a bit shaky from those first map nerfs. And it is clear to see that even though Cuckoo and Delete are putting in good work, Kiwi and Misdraw are just unable to put up anything against Indonesia's three-way FC. Zarius may find a miss, but I mean, as we go into the last quarter, it doesn't matter if Ima Guarding misses. It doesn't matter if Zerilia misses. That is an 800k score lead. Even though it decreases, it's not gonna be enough. Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man.
You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. Putting in new players, having them make their debut on a precision map where nerves must be controlled on a CS 6.5 maybe was not the play, as we see Cuckoo Delete getting those FCs, but unfortunately Variel on the 917k and Zerilia and Emar getting as well, no strangers to Hard Rock, and that was not a way you want to lose your Protect. That was not good for the United States, and they will need to clap back, and they need to put in these stronger players, people like Cal and Jack, people like Light, people like Creep Crafting, who we've been seeing doing really well in Indonesia. It is now your chance to pick. Will you
Hidden
go
three?
for
No,
your
hidden three.
Protect?
It's hidden three. It's hidden three. It has to be hidden three. I'm convinced.
Surely
I mean,
it's hidden three.
Oh my goodness, my G. We are 1 point away from that devastating tiebreaker guarantee for Indonesia. It's so scary if you're a fan of the United States, because Indonesia still have their trump card, their ace in the hole in hidden three. And if I were them, I would just let it rip right now. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I think you gotta go the full way. You're 4-3 in the lead, and it is your pick. You got that break point. You gotta convert the next pick into a point for your team, and I think the hidden three is the best way to do that. But to be fair, I don't think the United States are any strangers to this kind of type of hidden three.
True.
Your techie hidden three players like Creep Crafting will be able to scale. People like Delete, Light, and Light, Delete, Cal and Jack Creep Crafting for hidden three, and the hidden three has been picked. And I will let Gammy go on a 5-minute rant on the map.
Yeah, huge shout outs to Yobimo Entertainment, our sponsor, 6WC's only sponsor. Yobimo Entertainment is a Philippines-based music label, working in multimedia, music, game music, as well as design. Do check out Febs, who is the song artist and designer for Ultraviolet. Initially, this was a song that Febs presented to us, and it was a whole 4 minutes long. This is a edited version of it for the 6-digit World Cup. This map coming in at 2 minutes and 23 seconds long. It features a lot of funky, silly song concepts. And I thought, who is the best mapper to represent the craziness of the song? And I just had all of my mappers narrowed down all the way to Amethyst or Amethyst. This song is a crazy one. This map is an even crazier one. Very, very fun map, and I highly recommend this map to anybody looking for a silly, goofy tech map. Once again, if you are familiar with anything Amethyst or Amethysto, if you're familiar with their maps, this has all the craziness, all of the silliness that is indicative of their style. But once again, huge shout outs to Yobimo Entertainment for being the sponsor of 6-digit World Cup. Of course, they have a lot more customs lined up for you guys, but of course, this is what we have presented to you for the semifinals. It's going to be hidden three. Would you like to tell us more about the rosters that we might be seeing, Maiji, for this map?
I think very obviously for Indonesia, Emar Gating's really a syntax error and for real hopping in the lobby. And before I continue with the United States' roster, Canada just beat Taiwan 6-2.
I hate this. I hate
winning
this.
the Nomad
Yemo.
2
Yemo.
Herald FC 980K. But United States, like I mentioned before the map was even picked, Creep Crafting, Kalenjak, Delete, and Light should be your 4 for this hidden 3, this techie hidden 3. And it is quite a bit on the shorter side, being just shorter than 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I think, drain time, unless 2:23 is the real drain time, which I'm gonna check now. Is it?
Sorry?
It is 2 minutes and 23.
Yep.
I was questioning if the drain time was what's
Yeah.
like
It
what's on
is
the
what-
overlay is. Yep.
It is what it is as it seems. Good luck, have fun coming in chat. With that,
Kiwi.
let's jump straight into Ultraviolet by Febs. I already hear you, Maiji Kiwi coming in for this map. Once again, staying in the lobby after the Hard Rock 2. Very, very pleased to see Kiwi once again. Hopefully, they are able to find their footing on this Hidden 3, being the second map that we're going to be seeing them play. The good luck, have fun coming in chat.
I will say,
Yeah, go for it.
I will say, I have seen Kiwi perform much better on Hidden compared to Hard Rock. They aren't the strongest Hard Rock player compared to other
True.
people in 6 digit. They are more comfortable on that no-mod Hidden type consistency, DT not being their forte. But, I mean, we're getting into the Hidden 3, and you can keep going on what you were talking about.
Yeah, every point from this point on is so incredibly important. Indonesia, I mean, if they win their Protect, it is guaranteed match point for Team Indonesia. And the US has now a huge uphill battle to face. They need to win 2 points and then a tiebreaker in order to claw their way back. But I mean, this map features 2 big disc spikes, and I am so excited to see how these players survive or combo through these disc spikes. Let's jump straight into Ultraviolet once again by Feb.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the probably the most important map besides the final one to be played in this match, as this can either have Indonesia on match point, and right now the United States seeming so comfortable, but we have not gotten into the diff spike of this map, which we are going to be seeing right now. Will anybody fall on the text sliders? This text section is evil. Will anybody miss on the Ki? Kiwi, the first one to go down. Syntax error trading though, so that might favor the United States with accuracy. For real, and Zorillia on these 98, 99s, but Emar on the 96. And Kiwi and Emar trading. Emar going down 2 FCs to 3 in the lead of the US, and For real going down. And it is 3 FCs, 2 FCs to 1. And Zorillia going down.
Wait, that is a Bancho miss from Emar. Never mind. It's Bancho miss from Zorillia as well. Bancho miss from Delete, I believe. And I mean, I have no idea what just happened, but Zorillia and Emma gating. Bancho misses all across the board, but as it stands right now, they still have the score lead, as Kalenjak is the only one left to fend for himself from the United States.
Bancho's gonna make me quiet. Bro, it looks so hype for the US, but unfortunately Bancho just wanted to kick me in the butt. And we're going into another Ki, the final third section of the map. Will anyone fall? If anybody falls on Indonesia, these big combos, it could go back to the US. Everybody's building back up their combo, but if they hold, it's gonna go over to the Indonesians. For real, going down, this is not who you want to see miss for Indonesia, though. You want Zorillia or Emar to go down. It's 400k. Delete going down, and I think with that miss from Delete, it is confirmed. Indonesia are on match point 5-3.
That's right, and what a way to go to match points. Zorillia and Emma gating the carry potential of these 2 players on the Hidden. So incredibly dominant. 600k score lead going out of this Hidden 3. What a way to put a point on the board. And with that, the United States have been thrust to the back foot. And oh dear, it's looking scary, Maiji. It's looking scary.
It's not looking good for the Americans right now. They have some of these other maps in the pool that they could go for. They could throw a DT3 in the air. That would be the craziest gamble pick I've ever seen in a match, but it's possible. But I think something maybe more... Actually, no, not Control-ish. You just lost this tech Hidden 3. I feel like maybe like a Nomad 5, a speed map? Question mark?
Really, a speed map from the US? I mean, if they want to sort of play into what Indonesia has been showing, I mean, they don't want to go for the DT2. if they
Fremont 1?
want to analyze from that, yeah, I'm looking more so towards the Fremont 1 rather than the Nomad 5.
DT3. Oh my god.
Okay, we're just gonna play into speed. I mean, Indonesia banning out the DT1 and no DT2 as well. Haven't really been touching any sort of tapping mechanics this entire match, but the US now they want to go for the DT3 into uncharted territory. Finally enough in the end game. I'm looking, at delete on this kind of map. I'm looking at Callan Jack on this map. Oh my goodness.
I'm looking at light creep crafting. Actually, no, Mishdraw. Mishdraw, the tapping player of the United States this year. But I honestly think to put somebody in more consistent, I feel like Mishdraw's nerves going in now, where the other team is on match point. I think the nerves might be too high for them to go in here, but nerves might be high for just about anyone. We see Ryemu hopping in for this DT3, and this DT3 going to be a quick one, 1 minute and 48 seconds long, and this is either going to be a quick finish or a quick way to keep moving on, keep pushing forward into this match for the Americans. And Callan Jack, the one in the lobby, I would not be surprised to be seeing someone like Light hopping in for this DT3, and this DT3 going to be either combo or die, because if you can't hack or combo, your score is going to be cooked. And if you miss once, with this being a short map, your score is fried.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking at the big elephant in the room, Zervillia. Zervillia is an accuracy player at heart, and on a map such as DT3 where accuracy is so difficult, speedy swing, Zervillia is the king on this map, the big boss. I know we've been mentioning it once again, but it is also pronounced on this kind of map where I don't think anybody in the lobby is able to hold the sort of act game that Zervillia can put out on this DT3. But meanwhile, I mean, the United States, I definitely think that they can put up a show when it comes to filling in a roster for this DT3. But oh my god, he knows that the US might be
put in here.
I mean, the combo game, right? I'm looking at the combo game that they are sort of banking on for the US on this kind of map.
We've seen it on the Nomad 1. Maybe, I don't know, it's just this DT3 is, if you have high AC, your score is going to skyrocket with that DT multiplier being 1.2. But, maybe my words will be 8. Maybe Cuckoo just like assesses this. But good luck, have funs are in the chat, and the rosters are locked in. This is either going to be the end or the beginning of a crazy comeback for the United States. It's Aurelia, Ryemu, for real, and Emar Gating against Creep Crafting, Sparkle, Callan Jack, and Cuckoo.
That's right. From this point on, Indonesia has a knife pressed against the chest of the United States. Any point from here on out, it is game in favor of Team Indonesia. So the United States cannot afford any room for error at this juncture. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DT3. This map is absolutely littered with those 170 BPM doubles here and there, all about the density as well, the aim density. This map is very, very challenging, not just from a tapping standpoint, but from an aim control standpoint as well. But with that, let's jump straight into this double time 3.
And as you mentioned, look who the elephant in the room is assessing right now, Light on 99%. And honestly, this is looking a little bit scary for Indonesia, because you have Virillion and Cerelia, but after that, it's looking a little bit scary. These two other players, Ryemu and Emar Gating, are not the most DT players, but we are going to be getting into Ki. Will anybody miss on the ult, the sliders, the swing, all of the above? Right now, Indonesia in the score lead in the driver's seat. Aurelia going down! That is not good for Indonesia whatsoever. And the US are going to start taking it back over to their side. They need to hold. The Titan has fallen. The big boss is on 1 HP, holding as hard as they can with 99% accuracy, and the rest of their teammates trying their best. But right now, halfway into the map, it's the United States in the favor.
Yeah, the lifeline, however, that Zervillia's accuracy presents Team Indonesia is keeping them competitive, but the combo lead from the United States are just continuing to compound in favor of the right side. And as we move into the last quarter of the map, the United States will live to see another point as Cuckoo brings and makes the difference for United States. It is not over, however, as you said, Maiji. Anything can cause the score line to shift, as it is a mere 200k that can shift either side in a map as volatile as this one. Last eighth of the map, however, and I don't think there's gonna be enough map left for Indonesia to make this comeback. And with that, United States bring the score line 5-4. It is so dire, and Maiji, I have played these games before.
I have played these games before. Oh my goodness. The knife in Indonesia's back, in their chest. It just keeps going through. And I mean, Indonesia, it is your pick. This is the most important pick now. The Hidden 3 was an important map. They are on match point, but this is going to be the deciding map of if we see, I potentially think, the first tiebreaker of the 6-digit World Cup 2025. And if it is on this match, it's going to be the best one we're going to see so far, potentially in the whole tournament. And right now, I mean, man.
I'm gonna pull you off your high horse and say that although a victory for the United States, that was their safe pick. Indonesia has the entire pool at their disposal, and I can't help but feel as though a No Mod 3 or a No Mod 6 pick might be cause for a Indonesian victory.
No Mod 4 maybe? They want Hidden 3 tech? But I'm
thinking about the No Mod 6 because it's an act diff map once again, right?
True.
Although Zarina did find a miss on the DT3, which does suggest that Titans can potentially fall. Once again, I mean, it is another Indonesian picks at the end of the day, right?
To be fair, we just seen Light with a 1.12 mil on that DT3, so they are no strangers to accuracy. I've seen Light have insane accuracy on maps I would never imagine Light to even be on, like a 270 ppm DT3 in a 6.3 star grands. But it's No Mod 4!
Here we go.
Oh my god. I've played these games before.
I'm so happy, Maiji. I saw my free mod 3, I saw my hidden 3, and now I see my no mod 4 getting picked. Oh man, welcome to Helix SD, a very interesting and unique take on the no mod 4 tech slot. This map is it's if you know anything about Hamano's mapping style, Hamano being one of my favorite mappers as of late. Hamano specializes in this freeform new gen style of mapping that doesn't follow conventional mapping ideas. And this No Mod 4 is a very new gen surrealist take on the tech skill set. A lot of weird patterns here and there. And this map is evil. When I was getting the replay, it was so easy to miss on a misread. The density as well on this map doesn't let out at all on Helix. So, oh my goodness.
This map, as you mentioned, I believe would have been in a higher slot or a higher pool, like a later round. But I will say, Indonesia, you have these players like Emar, Zarilia, and Viril, but I think the fourth player is going to matter a lot if they perform or if they don't, because this map is insane on the skill cap. And for the US, we see Kalinjak delete Cuckoo. I think we could see a swap of Light and Creep Crafting, because I know Creep Crafting loves tech, and Light leaves the lobby. And will she make an appearance? Will Creep Crafting 56 hop in on this No Mod 4? I know she is really strong on those harder tech maps. It is a little bit of her hidden skill set that some people don't know about. But for Indonesia, we see Zarilia syntax error in, and I think Emar and Viril, for no question, no reason, they should not be in this No Mod 4. And this is going to be a quick one, Gammy. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It's just gonna be like that DT3.
I hate this. I hate this so much, Maiji. I've seen this board state happen time and time again, and every single time we're just 1 point away from the tiebreaker. I think if you're a fan of Team Indonesia, you want them to close it out right here, right now, and I think Team Indonesia wants to do just that. But if you're on the side of Team United States, this is your chance to make history. The first ever tiebreaker this 6-digit World Cup. This is their chance to make the difference on this No Mod 4. And if I were in their position, the nerves would consume me. but they cannot let that stop them. Not when the scoreboard is this close. And the supporters are coming in from everybody in chat. Everybody is cheering in the US. Everybody is cheering Indonesia. You need to send as much of your support to the players because they damn well need it.
US trying to build a spirit bomb to take out the boss, Indonesia. And I don't know, Kiwi, I mean, you're in the lobby. Is it your chance to shine on this Nomad 4? I was expecting creep crafting, but I guess we are not going to be seeing her making an appearance in this Hamano tech map. And good luck, have funs are in the chat. And we are going into potentially the final map of this match. And if it isn't, then we are going to be seeing the first tiebreaker of 6-digit World Cup 2025. But with that, we're going to be going into Helix, mapped by Hamano. Oh my goodness, this is so hype. We've never been seeing a match this close ever yet in this 6WC 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, seat 2 to seat 3. This is the match you came to see. At the end of these 2 minutes and 18 seconds, we either go to a tiebreaker or we see Indonesia repeat history. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Helix by Hamano.
Delete the first one to go down. Kiwi holding out a crazy FC. Syntactor are going down for Indonesia. It is 3 FCs to 3, and we're going into a bit of aim before we go back into those techie sliders. And Kiwi eating up my words. Look at them. They're performing so hard. Imar getting it. Cuckoo trading. That's gonna favor Indonesia with the accuracy from Zerilia and Imar and Viril, though. Nobody missing on that longer slider. And the score lead is so close. If anybody breaks, Zerilia going down! The boss has fallen! And it's only Viril holding an FC for the side of Indonesia. Syntac are going down.
Oh, no.
The score lead is on the side of the Americans. Cuckoo going down. That's not who you want to see break. Jack and I don't know, Kiwi in the lead, holding all strong right now. 2 FCs, 2-1 Viril, the only one to try and keep this Indonesian story intact right now. And the USA running away with it halfway into the map.
My fingers, my toes are crossed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so thin on the line.
Viril goes down.
Viril finding that miss. That is going to give more and more leg room for the United States. But Jack, please, not like this. Is still making it close. But Kiwi and Delete. Kiwi finally finding his footing in this matchup. And as we move into the last KI, will the United States make the difference?
There's still a third of the map left, and it's only 150k in the favor of the Americans. Jack going down, but that's not who you want to see miss. Viril going down. Wait, that was Bencho. Okay.
Doable. It's doable.
The scoreboard, it's 115k. Jack, you need to stop missing. You need to hold. It's the end of the map. It's going over to Indonesia really fast. You need one of these Indonesians to break if you're USA. Will anybody break the final section? It's all up to Kiwi to hold out this FC. It's all up to the lead, and it's 50k, 60k. Syntac, we're going down. In the United States on the spinner, we are going to tiebreaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the United States have exercised Deus Ex Machina on this Nomad 4, and for the first time in 6WC 2025, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me, we have a tiebreaker.
Oh my goodness. Dude, Kiwi, props to you, man. Kiwi FCing this difficult Nomad 4. They didn't do as well in the other maps, but look how they shine on this high skill cap tech. And they were the difference maker for the United States. They keep the story going on for the Americans. Cuckoo getting a little bit lower score than they probably could have. Oh my god, I can't even speak. I'm at a loss for words. America, you need to glaze the shit out of Kiwi. You guys supported the United States stronger, and we are going into Africa. The maps, but I'm gonna let you talk about the maps.
Oh my goodness! Before we talk about that, Kiwi, when all hope seemed lost, they underperformed their Hard Rock 3. They underperformed, you know, the 2 maps that they came in. The, I believe, what was it? I can't remember. Hidden 3, was it?
Hard Rock 2, Hidden 3?
Yeah, Hard Rock 2, Hidden 3. I can't remember. But when it mattered the most, Kiwi, the ace in the hole, when it mattered the most, Kiwi was the one to make the difference. And ladies and gentlemen, from the Catch World Cup 2022, we will be seeing their custom tiebreaker in Everka by Half versus Kuro. This is a 6-digit reunion map by Quantum Vortex, Jackie, Amethysto, JRE, and Prody. This tiebreaker features a whole host of maps. Being a full flavor song, it has mechanics aim, it has tapping, it has tech, it has control, it has finger control, it has everything you want to see in a tiebreaker. And this is the ultimate test. This is the ultimate war of attrition for both of these players. The nerves are at an all-time high. They are at an all-time sky high for both of these teams. And I said it before in that last match, but if I were the players here, I feel that Singapore versus Canada 6WC 2024 nerves. And holy crap, my G, do we have a match to watch?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised to be seeing a tiebreaker, and I don't think any other people are surprised as well. And I don't think it's gonna be a shock seeing Varel, Syntact Error, Imar getting in Zerillia in the lobby for the Indonesians. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised seeing a timeout coming out from either of these teams to try and relax the nerves. And for the United States, you know, Indonesia, they have a 4-man roster already. But for the US, who will we be seeing in this tiebreaker showing off many skill sets? So I think you just gotta put in your 4 aces, your strongest team for the US, and I think Creep Crafting could be a part of that. Callan Jack and Delete could be a part of that. We might see Kiwi. They just popped off on that Nomad 4. I'm not sure if this will be their kind of map, but this map gonna be 5.5 minutes long. So we have a long one for you. Gonna keep you guys on the edge of your seats. I just cracked my phone case. What the hell?
Cracking your phone case. Nobody cares. Everybody lock the fuck in as we see this monumental moment in 6WC 2025 history. Everybody in the lobby taking their time to sort of mellow into the match, taking their time to collect themselves. And I think, my G, we need some time as well as commentators. We're gonna take a quick, 10-second, 20-second break to really lock in, get a sip of that water, because holy crap, do we have a show to watch. This is a match you came to see.
All right, we're gonna be getting into an intermission. Oh man, I need liquid. I need water. Wait, are we already getting into it, bro?
Oh my goodness. oh my goodness, my G. Far. We are really pushing the upper limit of what these players are capable of, and I'm just happy to be here for the ride, my G.
Yeah, I am glad to be joining the ride. We have 160 viewers in during this match on the Twitch stream. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'm sure every player is glad to be seeing their fans in this match. And for the rosters, we have Zerillia, Imar getting, Syntact Error, and Varel, and good lucks are in the chat. And for the US, we see Creep Crafting, Light, Delete, and Callan Jack.
It's the A teams of both rosters coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, the good luck have fun's coming in chat. The players are loading into the lobby. Everybody, the adrenaline is at an all-time high. Ladies and gentlemen, 160 of you in the chat right now. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here watching the 6-digit World Cup. At the end of these 5 minutes and 33 seconds, a winner will be crowned, and that winner will be having a guaranteed spot in the grand finals, with the loser going into the losers bracket, having to deal with the dwellings at the bottom. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, everybody get a cup of water, sit at the edge of your seats because, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Health versus Kura, Iverka, your 6WC Grand Semi-Finals tiebreaker. I did it again, my G.
It's okay. You can take your time and breathe. Take a sip of water like everybody else should. Emar gating, finding an early miss, and Light following up with that. But we are just in the beginning of this high caliber tiebreaker. This map is not going to be easy whatsoever. This map going to challenge a lot of skill sets, and people like Zerilia are going to be people to watch out for because they are currently holding an SS and creep crafting going down. And also would like to mention creep crafting and Virreal on the hidden mod on this tiebreaker.
That's right, the adrenaline is so intense as we move into this more tapping heavy section of the map. 180 BPM is the BPM of this section, and as it stands right now, Indonesia putting that strong, firm front foot on this map. As we mentioned before, my G, Indonesia is the team that's favored when it comes to the skill set. When it comes to the skill cap, and it is showing right now as we move into the second half of this KI, the tech section.
Yeah, and I mean, look at all these combos. You have 3 FCs coming out from all these players. Light going down once again. Creep crafting following up with that for the USA. It's still 2 FCs from Delete and Kalenjak, the 2 newer players to the 6-digit World Cup. And it is on their shoulders right now, as there is still 3 FCs and Emar's insane recovery. And oh my goodness, we aren't even anywhere close to being finished. We are barely a third of the way in, and it is looking heavily Indonesia favored. We are going into an ult pattern.
Yeah, everybody feel the groove course through your veins as we are moving into the alternate heavy section of the map. It is full thrust into the next KI. Syntax Arrow and Varial are going to be the ones to fall, but so does Delete and Kalenjak, the last bastion. And in fact, Zerilia falls, the dust settles, and Kalenjak is going to be the one to make the difference. But that is an 80k score lead that Kalenjak needs to go through. Will they be able to make it through the second half of the KI? Are you up for the challenge?
Everybody breaking on the side of Indonesia. Creep crafting going down. It is Light and Kalenjak to recover. Kalenjak on the FC. They have such a job on their hands. For real.
Oh my goodness, we move into the tapping section of the map. This is all about the mechanics. 180 BPM once again is the name of the game. And this is all free combo, free reign for Kalenjak to make this difference. The scoreboard shifts over to the United States. And as it stands right now, ladies and gentlemen, Kalenjak, who else is the whole? The world is watching him make absolute history.
And as I mentioned earlier on in the match, Zerilia might be a titan, but Kalenjak is a god. They are holding this FC. 1/3 of the map left. We have passed the halfway mark. There is still about 2 minutes left in the map. They have so much combo and Light on the recovery with insane accuracy. And we're going to be getting back into a KI. Will anyone miss?
Oh my goodness, the adrenaline here is at an all-time high. Silence fills the lobby.
They see the scores.
They see the scoreboard. And here is where the adrenaline pumps these players towards the very end. Sparkle finds the miss, but Kalenjak is going to be the one to hold. Ladies and gentlemen, that scoreline off the back of Kalenjak is going to grow to a massive 170k score lead. Ladies and gentlemen, the players, it is so desperate for the Team Indonesia. There must be something for them right now. But what a god to a non-believer. Kalenjak, 2.1k score as he races towards the final KI, unrelenting incessantly. Zerilia might be the bird of the flock, but Kalenjak is the big elephant in the room as last ace of the map. Ladies and gentlemen, what can you even do?
Look at this demon, this god! They are FCing this tiebreaker! This map was made to be one of the hardest, if actually the hardest map in the pool, and Kalenjak is making this look like a joke!
Final KI. Can Kalenjak do it? The question now is not whether Kalenjak can, it's how far he will take it. 2.4k combo. There is one speed core section at the end of the map. It doesn't matter whether he misses.
No!
And he falls at the very end. but it doesn't matter.
What is
United States will make history with a tiebreaker victory in 400k score lead. A masterclass of masterclasses from Cal Jack.
As you mentioned, Gammy, you have played these games before, and the United States have played the games themselves in today's match. And as I said, Cal and Jack being the difference maker on this high skill cap tiebreaker. I've seen them do it before, and they did it once again. Zerilio with 99% AC almost, but unfortunately not able to FC. And your winners of today's match off of the comeback 5-3 deficit will be the Americans, the United States winning 6-5.
I am starstruck by this star-studded roster that is the United States. Once again, the most consistent country in OSU history will prove that they are inevitable and will be walking forward in the winners bracket, securing that top 3 spot in the 6-digit World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners of this matchup will be the one, the only United States. Holy crap, my G.
And the roster to do it, getting top 3 guaranteed this year, is Light, Mistral, Delete, Redacted, Creep Crafting, Kalinjak, Cuckoo, and Kiwi. This 8-man team, probably one of the strongest 6WC teams we have seen in history. And they have taken down the final boss. I mean, there is still another boss ahead of them in the finals, but will they be able to take down the Philippines if they win that Russia match? Who knows? Zig's going for the Philippines. I mean, well, Indonesia seemed like the Philippines after that one. Oh my goodness.
So wait and see. But with that, we can't keep dwelling on the United States for long. That was the match of the tournament, but we have one coming right up with Team Mexico and China, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Do hop around, just do stick around and check it out if you are interested. We hope that match is as exciting, but it's gonna be very hard to top what we've seen today. Congratulations to both sides, Indonesia and the United States, for an incredible performance and for just giving us a match to behold. With that, ladies and gentlemen, Mighty, any last words to the chat before we go?
Thanks for having me here. Thanks for everybody watching. I am sure it is greatly appreciated. I am so glad to be commentating a match like this. Thank you, Gammy, for having me in the commentary booth. Thank you, Fraon, for the stream, making it possible to be seeing this kind of match. And with that, that's all I have to say. Gammy, any final words from the host?
Yep, 2 shoutouts from me for the rest of this match. Average HP player, GS Brick, alongside both the United States and Indonesia, for finally playing one of our tiebreakers and giving us a show to watch. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, his name has been Maiji. My name has been Gammy Criolla. Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Thank you to all of the mappers, every pooler or every mapper who made this pool possible. And we had 8 customs, a lot of them being played today. And yeah, that's all I had to say. I had to shout out the mappers. The effort that was put into this pool was massive.
Yep. Thank you for that, Maiji. But I think with that, we can close off. My name has been Gammy Criolla. His name has been Maiji. You are watching the 6-digit World Cup. And with that, stick around for the match that we have right now, actually. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.